What's up, guys? We don't know ball podcast recording. Funny enough, not recording football as of right now, as people would see as what I'm wearing, a true Western Conference contender this year. Yes, I said it. We are talking about basketball. Where I was hinting at it for the past couple weeks on some of the football podcast episodes that we've had. I think collectively going forward, we're going to try to do a collective of different sports. And now that basketball is full head of steam. Week 1 is done. Starting week 2, we're finally doing it, and this is where I can kind of shine. And I love basketball. Basketball is probably my favorite sport at the moment. But
I like
before
the
we
way
get
they
into all
dribble up
this
and
kind of
down the
stuff,
court.
type shit. But before we get in that, again, I'm Jules. This is Justin. This is Retro. How are you guys doing this week? What are we thinking about the season so far? Before we get into some of our predictions and talking points for today's episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing well. It's cool to finally do a basketball episode. I'm kind of happy everything's in motion. I'm more of a college guy typically, but I like the NBA too. Obviously, college basketball just started tonight, so there's that going on too. I love where we're at right now because you've got college basketball, NBA, NFL, college football. There's stuff going on all the time. So sports, lots of fun, and the Bulls are actually good, so that's kind of weird. And so I can enjoy the NBA too. But yeah, I'm just super excited to get going and get started.
Yeah, I mean, like Retro said, this is a really interesting time of the year for sports because the only thing not running now is baseball, which just ended. Which, unfortunately, congratulations to the most financially stable franchise in the history of all sports, the LA Dodgers, on being able to find a way to cheat the system and pay people in 20 years when they're actively doing their job now. The only two people I could be happy for on that team are Freddie Freeman and Clayton Kershaw, because Clayton Kershaw deserves to go out on a high, and Freddie Freeman is just a generational good dude. Still always going to hate the Dodgers. Fuck the Dodgers. Hate Dave Roberts. Hate Mookie Betts. Hate basically their whole team except for the two guys I just mentioned. But congrats to them on winning. I can jump right past that. Baseball's over. We'll get into it now. Game 1 of the season. Congratulations to the Thunder. Oh my God, those rings are fucking beautiful. And the fact that they come with a secondary ring on the inside that's not as flashy that they could wear if they really wanted to. So cool.
Insane. They're shout out to the Thunder fans that I talked to on TikTok. Your banner, guys, can be a chat GBT generated. That is the worst banner I've ever seen in my life.
Basic shit I've ever seen in my whole life.
Awful banner for a fraudulent team.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, that's going to lead me into my first question, since you want to say that they're fraudulent. I'm going to argue the other way on the fraudulent side of things. Are the Thunder better this year than they were last year, for the simple fact that their rookies have experience, and I feel like these clutch players are making more clutch plays? They've been plagued with the injury bug to start the first week and a half of the season, which really does suck, but their guys are stepping up and doing their jobs. I mean, they're still 7-0. They're the only undefeated team in basketball. So, my question is if Caruso comes back healthy, plays his normal basketball, if Cason Wallace can stay healthy and continue to play his basketball, and J-Dub comes back, are these guys a threat to two-peat because of the experience of already winning a championship and what they're already doing this year?
So, before you go, Retro, this is what I'll say. So the narrative, if we rewind in time, this time last year, right? We were saying the same exact thing about the Boston Celtics, right? A whole bunch of vets with a deep roster, with a deep team. Are they a threat to go back to back and be the team of the 2020s because of no one has gotten back to back since 2019. So the threat of finding an established team in this decade is going to be very crucial for, I think, this decade to stand out as a dominant decade. So what is being now with the Thunder is that what they were plagued with completely last year, having the fourth most injured team in the NBA, And now J-Dub's out. Chet's in and out in the lineup. Caruso's in and out of the lineup. So we're seeing, again, what the Thunder are best at with the depth. AJ Mitchell having a random 20-point game. Carson Wallace having a random 20-point game. So these guys are stepping up. And Justin, you say it very well. Now that they have the experience that everybody was questioning them last year, and they were able to overcome that, getting those championship rings, they are legitimate threats of going back to back. They might have, I don't think they'll be a 68 win team, but a legitimate 60 win team is not out of the question for this team. It is not. And
I
that's
believe
scary.
I believe on my preseason rankings I had them with 63 wins.
I had them at 62.
So, 63, if we're going to put them in that category, do I think that they're going to threaten that 72-10 or the 73-9? Excuse me, they very well could. It's a very good possibility that they can threaten, but I think that mid to high 60s number is probably their ceiling, but that mid to low 60s is probably their floor. So I literally think that their ceiling to floor gap is probably 4 to 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously the Thunder are a threat. When I was saying they were fraudulent, I'm mostly being facetious because I hate what Shea has done to basketball conversation. But
Now, what exactly has Shea done to basketball? Because I would really like to know, because I just had this discussion with another basketball fan, aka my little brother, who you guys already have entertained a little bit, and he wants to call Shea a free throw merchant and talk about his basketball discourse and this, that, and the other, and that he free throw embellishes. Do you know that last week, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has only shot 10 free throws through 3 games, and playing, I believe, his last game, the last game on Sunday, I think he had 5. So if we're saying that this man is foul baiting and he's disingenuous and this, that, and the other, it's got to stop, because everybody does it, and I think that Shea is starting to get the later in career Jordan treatment of where he's going to have to play through a lot more and not get as many embellishing calls because everyone else is getting way more than he is.
yeah, no, that's not actually my argument. My argument doesn't base around his free throws. I think he is a foul baiter. Everybody knows that, but that's neither here nor there. The main problem that I have is the fact that only because of ring culture is he being put in conversations he shouldn't be putting into. He's played 3 good years, but he has a ring, and so because of that, people are automatically trying to put him in these crazy upper echelons of guards that I just don't think he belongs in yet. And I think that it's just kind of it's really just a microcosm reflective of a greater problem in the basketball community, which is the focus on rings and only rings. And because Shea has one, everybody is just like, oh well, guess we got to glaze him as the craziest guard we've ever seen after only 3 years of productivity.
But that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing about the basketball culture that I think that we've kind of been stuck in, and especially at our age gap, is we're stuck in 2 different, very, very different arguments. We have the box score watchers and we have the ring culture guys. And that's literally what we have to talk about, because if anyone brings up a stat now, and I know we've all been in conversations where it's like, oh, well, he did this, 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 and this in this game or in this series or in this, you got to look at somebody's whole body of work, and 1 ring really doesn't cement you anywhere. Yes, are you better than a lot of people because you got the job done and they didn't? Absolutely. Why? Because I understand your discourse on it, that he's getting put in all these conversations, but at the same time, there are certain guys that are Hall of Famers or Hall of Very Goods, as we like to put it, for those guys that didn't make it. And because he has a ring over them as the leading role on his team for the championship, and arguably the reason that they did get there, we can't really discredit what he's done. I understand, like I said, he's getting put in conversations with guys that are probably still clearly head and shoulders above him, but that's just people painting nasty narratives. And believe me, Retro, I don't know if you can argue that because you love to paint a nasty narrative, but it's just it does suck. I think that Shea is getting a lot of over scrutiny because of what he's done, just because of idiots in the community.
Well, and
So
sorry, I was gonna say
Okay.
so about the other thing that I wanted to say about that quickly, and then I'll go back to the Thunder. It especially is a problem because you're getting people we obviously had the CP3 versus Kyrie discourse, and that was a whole thing. But the issue now is you're getting people like trying to like shit on like Jerry West, for example, because he went 1-9 in the finals, and like completely disregarding everything that's like relevant about his career.
But
Because
then nobody talks about LeBron's record in the playoffs.
right,
so
right,
I
and
get it.
whenever anybody does, it's like, oh well, at least he went there 10 times, right? But Jerry West goes there, and it's like, oh okay, well he lost.
Okay, but he won one, so nobody cares, right?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, when you run into Red Orbox Celtics, I don't know what you're like. You do what you can. But I was gonna say, so about the Thunder, I think that it is very clear the Thunder are going to be contenders. If the Thunder literally control C, control V their team from last year to this year, they'd be contenders again, obviously, because they won last year. And it's like Justin said, I feel like this team now they're just a year older, so you have guys that have gotten more experience. More importantly, you have guys that have finals experience now, which is invaluable. That type of experience you're not typically going to get. And the one thing that positions them to kind of be that team over like the next decade is that they also have a treasure trove of draft picks, and as they continue to like draft new guys, as soon as they have to start swapping people out because of salary problems, they'll just have new rookies to immediately replace them. And I think one thing that's interesting is they have Utah's draft pick now. It's projected 1 to 8, or not projected, protected 1 to 8, so if it's in that 1 to 8 range, but if the Jazz are just decent enough to be in like the 9 range, like the 9 to 15, then the Thunder could get a really good player like in the early rounds. So or in the early pick. So I feel like I don't know. I think the Thunder are just in a really, really good position. I do think they're better than last year. I could genuinely see them winning more than they did last year.
We'll get into that a little further down the road in this, because I do want to actually kind of talk about something going on with the Jazz, and I thought maybe, just maybe, there's a specific guy on their team that they might give up to get their first round pick back at the deadline, because fuck it, I'll move right into it. It's way down my list, but I'll tell you right now, Lauri Markkanen's going to get wasted in that franchise. And if Utah doesn't do something to make that move, and honestly, that's the perfect thing for them to do, is to go get another depth player like that. I mean, he's their starter, he's their star, and I think he's probably one of the most underrated stars in the league right now. Not super, just star. But the man is backpacking. They have a good young core. Why not go get another draft pick to build another young core and maybe learn from OKC instead of doing it with established players? Let's go do it.
So with the Utah Jazz specifically, yes, they're what I think collectively a lot of people in the basketball community were kind of saying is that the Utah Jazz aren't necessarily going to be anything this year. This is a rebuilding year, go for the future and whatever.
And Lauri's trying to change that discourse.
Lauri Markkanen single-handedly, well, not even single-handedly, this is what I'll get into. The past couple years after he was made All-Star and was in All-NBA considerations, didn't get it, but he was a legitimately good All-Star a couple years ago. He has a lot of the discourse around Lauri Markkanen was that he's overrated, he only had one good year, and that he's not good. Lauri Markkanen is definitely changing that discourse this year, but along with a very underrated guy, Keontae George, running that offense and giving the opportunities to where I think Lauri Markkanen isn't a great self-shot creator. He needs somebody to kind of like facilitate that offense.
Good against the Suns as a self-shot creator. Fuck me.
For sure. But Keontae George, I think, is definitely helping him elevate a little bit more. So I think Lauri Markkanen is a great player. But going forward, the biggest question is if Danny Ainge, the GM, who we all know, or at least the basketball community knows, is really stingy when it comes to making trades for the long term to help a team.
Really stingy, yes.
Yeah. To help a franchise, he single-handedly got the Celtics a whole bunch of the guys that they have now: Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, so on and so forth. He helped get Derek White from my team. So basically, what if the Jazz aren't like they'll be? I don't think they'll be in the playoffs, but if they're like, let's say 11th or 12th seed in the West, and they somehow are able to get a high draft pick and they keep Lauri Markkanen if he stays, There's a possibility of Ace Bailey, who has looked really rough the past couple games. So I think going forward he can develop better. But Ace Bailey, you're definitely on fraud watch.
Yep.
Keontae George, great young piece. Lauren Marketing, great young piece. And then the possibility of either Boozer or Dabonza or I always forget the third guy. But that team going forward, that can be a legitimate team that can revolve pieces and that kind of stuff. And Utah can get back to what, unfortunately, where these guys know I hate the Karl Malone, John Stockton days, but them at least getting to that relevancy back again just because of Danny Ainge. So it's a interesting team for sure.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Hold on, Retro, just before you go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, you're talking about Keontae George, and, like, his biggest question mark out of the draft, and actually up until this year, was can Keontae George be an effective point guard at this level? And it was, he can shoot the ball. We all know he can shoot the ball. He's a pretty lights-out shooter. It's the issue of, can Keontae George manage the playmaking side at the NBA level? And like we talked about, is the Jazz aren't great. They're not going to be great this year. They might squeak out 40 wins, and that's a big might. But if Keontae can continue to play make like this, and they can see the pieces that are around him, if they can build off his playmaking ability and get rid of Larry Markkinen, and it's not really a get rid of, but if you can trade him for some asset pieces going forward,
George,
maybe
Bailey, Dabonza.
right, and that's the thing is, maybe, just maybe, you're the Utah Jazz. They're not paying anybody in unreal amounts of money. Maybe, just maybe, the money lines up right in the next 2-3 years of free agency, and we've all seen what free agency is going to look like in the next 2 to 3 years. There could be somebody that they could go out and sign that could make this team not top 4 in the West, but they could be comp for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So I actually, Jules, the guy you were looking for was Darren Peterson. He's the guy that's also
Darren Peterson. Thank you.
Yeah, but so I actually think Danny Ainge already has cooked. One thing that I think this Jazz team isn't getting credit for is the other pieces. So you talk about Keontae George, he's great. He's averaging over 20 points a game. Markkanen's averaging 33, like you said. He's just attacking. But you have other guys on this team. Isaiah Collier, he's 21. He was really, really good on USC.
Good piece.
Very solid young developing piece.
Better not leave my guy Kyle Filipowski out of this either.
And I was going to talk about that. So Walter Clayton, he's 22. He played for Florida's national championship team. He's a gritty guy, and he's looked pretty solid. He's averaging
Florida, cool.
Averaging 6-3-3, right? So he's playing pretty well. You already have Ace Bailey, which we already talked about. He might look rough, but I think he's got a lot of development in him, and he's only 19. Kyle Filipowski, he's 21 years old, guy on the Duke team, great player on that roster.
Walker Kessler.
Right, Walker Kessler. He's always been a good piece for
They
them.
are so, that's the thing, is they are so big dominant that they don't really even, like, Laurie is their scorer right now. They could run him at the 3 and make this team work great, but I'm telling you right now, if they can go out, and I'm really liking, Jules, you said it yourself, I'm pretty sure that Dabonza would be the perfect fit with this team. So, like, if they can find a way to turn it into 2 role players and a high draft pick that can get them into the spot that...
Well, and just to kind of like continue on this, they have Bryce Sensabaugh. He played at Ohio State. He was great in college, averaging 9 points a game now. He's 22. They have Oscar Tshiebwe, who was the National Player of the Year at Kentucky.
Yep.
One of the best players in college basketball, and he's 25. So what I'm getting at is Tshiebwe will be 26 next year. Sensabaugh will be 23, Kessler 25, Markkanen 29, Filipowski 22, Bailey 20. All of these guys are extremely young. If you give them, like, let's say 2 or 3 years to develop as a unit, and like you said, you add on the fact that next year you might be adding Dabonza or Peterson or something like that, all you really need to do is wait. This team, in like 2 or 3 years, should develop into a very, very competitive team. What you would do is you would have Keontae at the point, probably. You could run Isaiah Collier at the shooting guard. You could run Walter Clayton at shooting guard. You could run any of these guys. Ace Bailey and Laurie Markkinen can play forward. Like you said, this team is big dominant, so you've got Bryce Sensabaugh as another option. You have Filipowski, Walker Kessler at center, and you have draft picks coming in, Oscar Tshiebwe off the bench. This team is deep. They're just young. I literally think 3 to 4 years, this team's going to be one of the best teams in the West.
Do they still have Terrence Mann on their bench?
I don't even know. Let me.
I don't think so. I thought he left. I just don't know where Terrence. I thought Terrence Mann was on the Hornets.
Yeah, the Jazz don't have him.
Yeah. Justin, I know that you like to segue our stuff into it, but I think this is kind of a perfect thing because we're talking about 2 or 3 years time that this team could be really nice development. Let's talk about the team that is now in 2 or 3 years time where they are currently to where they could be a sneaky good team in the West. The Portland Trailblazers. The fact that I think that a big so the Portland Trailblazers, I think one, thank God Chauncey Billups is now out of there. You know, it's no shock. Everybody knows now. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups got busted by the FBI and all that kind of stuff. That's off the court. We won't talk about that. So if you guys are here for that, sorry, we're not talking about that.
Yes, the
But
fuck we will. I missed my invite to the game.
No, we don't.
I was trying to go.
Chauncey's selling unders, dog. Chauncey's selling unders.
Dude, Chauncey's selling unders, but the fact that like more and more names of this list keep coming out, and the fact that KG's name has been attached to it really scares me.
He wasn't participating in any of the betting. He was just at the tables. That's what I understand.
Right. So in other words, KG is the guy that goes out and finds the young players that just got their big rookie bonuses, trains them for a little bit, and then says, "Hey, some of the guys are running this game. You want to show up?"
Hey, KG got aura. But getting back to the Trailblazers. Now that Tiago Splitter is now the head coach. Shout out Tiago Splitter.
Yeah.
That team now looks like the 2014 Spurs. Drew Holiday looking like he's in his prime, looking basically like his Pelican days, 25-5 continuously, day in and day out. Tumari Kamara, great defender, who I think has taken good strides on the offensive end of the court. Baby Luka Doncic, Denny Advia. Denny Advia is yes. Denny Advia
We're not
is
pushing
great.
that narrative. No.
Baby Luka. Denny Advia, shout out Galore for giving him that nickname. Denny Advia has been fantastic for them.
Okay, what we're not going to do on this basketball podcast is credit Galore.
And in all seriousness, though, like if you look at this roster, Advia and Grant is a great 1-2 duo at the forwards. Advia is averaging 23, Grant's averaging 21. They're playing really well together. Holiday and Shaden Sharp, that's a great guard duo. You have a veteran and a young guy that are both playing together at a very, very solid level. Your center is Donovan Clingan, who was a really high draft pick, already basically averaging a double-double. And then off the bench, we have another guy who you can develop. Funnily enough, you mentioned young Luka, but young Jokic, Yang Hansen. A lot of people are calling him that.
Okay, what you're not going to do is push fantasy narrative. One, brother. When you say off the bench, and we're not referring to Scoot Henderson, I really want to fight you, just so we're clear. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to push over nasty fantasy narratives that you want to happen. I get the kid could be good. He's good. He's a good, tall, two-way guy who can do everything. It's just, will he come into his own? But like, everyone's so high on Portland that I think they're like the little brother team that I think everyone wants to see succeed this year.
They're a playing team. We're not high on them. It's just like if they can make the play-in, that's awesome.
You're way higher on them than you should be because you want them to be a play-in team.
They're a play-in team.
No. Everybody wants them to be good. They're clearly a play-in team. I think they might have a shot at being like the lowest seed that's not a play-in team. The thing is, like, there are some teams that do this weird thing where they run on the power of friendship. Like, you guys remember the We Believe Warriors? Like, there are some teams that, just believe hard enough, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, the Pacers last year.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that roster wasn't amazing by any means, but they believed hard enough.
Oh, my God. The black magic of Pascal Siakam. We're moved.
Shout out.
Just so we're clear, we were moved, and I called that, and nobody can tell me differently.
I was with Hallie too. No, I agree.
As far as this, I want to talk about this now because you want to say that Portland can be a whatever team. I don't think Portland outlasts. There's so many teams down here that are just going to be better teams for the play-in. I mean,
I don't want to hear your Suns being a play-in team.
They're not going to be. Everyone else keeps telling me. I still think we're going to finish second to last above the Pelicans. So, but I don't know if they can. Even Utah could make a play in. There's the 7 through 10 of the Rockets, Warriors, Wolves, Grizzlies that are like
They're all better.
Yeah, but honestly, like, are we like? I feel like Portland is beating like Utah. Like, I don't. I think Utah.
Yeah, Portland.
Utah
They,
needs
they
3 or
very
4
well
years.
could, but Utah, like we just talked about, is they have all this. What if it all clicks this year? It's not going to get them a championship,
they'll
but what
take
if
a
it
year.
clicks? What if it clicks halfway through the year and they go on like a 13-game run at the end of the
It's
season?
possible, but my guess is that the fact that they're all like 20 and 21 and 19, my guess is it's going to take like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
kind of everything.
yeah, and that's where I think Portland is now. That 2 or 3 year gap compared to Utah, they're here. Portland is here in the development. They're both bad teams, but I think the Trailblazers are just like jumped a year because of the again the Chauncey selling the under shit. But all this young talent being able to click rather quickly again.
I
Drew
love how
Holiday's
nobody
looking
talked
really
about the
good.
best move they made in the offseason. Nobody
Getting
talked about
Damian Lillard.
No.
Lillard.
What was the best move they made? They got rid of known number 1 basketball terrorist DeAndre Ayton.
Yes.
And also, I was gonna say as well too. It's also about trajectory. Like the Trailblazers' trajectory is probably like you're like here right now, and you can probably like go up to like here.
Yeah.
The Jazz trajectory is like here to like there. It's like you could go way up if you just
exponential.
Where you need them to go. Yeah.
The Jazz could move up to first class, but in reality, they're sitting in the last row of the plane.
Well, I don't know. I feel like if everything clicks for the Jazz, you're talking about a top 5 team in the West. I think if everything clicks, but the question is if it does.
It's not. Yeah, that's insane. But I don't think that's gonna happen. They're just way too far away.
I don't think that's
Portland
at all.
Yeah, we're done with
Awesome. Let's move on to where the basketball terrorist landed this year. Let's move on to these Lakers.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I just want to point.
Wait, hold on. I'm confused. When you say you mean the Los Angeles Luka Doncic is correct? I'm just
correct. Yes, it's LALD. It's LALD now. Speaking of
LALD and then in parentheses AR, just like
exactly. I mean
the
two things I have mentioned about the Lakers right now aren't really even about the Lakers. The first one is Luka's averaging more in LA than the big 3 in Dallas are right now, which is making me just happy as shit. I can't wait for the fire Nico, sell the whole. I'm waiting for it. I'm so ready for it. Dallas is just they're not it, and the other one is, like you said, in parentheses, the Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is averaging 31, 5, and 9. And before the last game he played, he was like 35 and 10. Do you know there's only 2 players in Laker history that have done that?
West and him?
West? Well, no, 2 before him.
Okay, then no.
It's West and Magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
So, well, I mean, it makes sense. AR is obviously the best point guard that they've had since Magic.
Oh my god.
This is why you don't get invited to the cookout. This is exactly.
Also, I would like to point out, just for everybody watching, DeAndre Ayton is averaging 15 and 8. I'm just gonna.
That's fantastic. You know what he still can't. You know what he still can't do? Be physical underneath the rim. Because the man still was wide open dunks and taking layups.
2 points really quickly because DeAndre Ayton. You guys know me, but again, basketball community. I said this specifically, playing the villain, and my video went viral on this shit, that DeAndre Ayton does not move the needle for the Lakers. You guys need something better. And I've had debates about this, not even Nick Claxton. I had this specifically is that, okay, yes, he's a double-double guy, but in short roll situations, he doesn't he takes these weird, inefficient, short mid-range shots in short roll situations with Luka. When we saw it this year, he's not a really good lob threat. He's a minus defensively, so the Lakers fans are trying to prompt him to, okay, just average 16 and 10 and we'll just carry you to the playoffs. No, that's not the expectation being the Lakers center. The Lakers center's expectations since beginning of time has been you need to be a top 2 guy. DeAndre Ayton is not that. And to be honest with you, because we talked about the Jazz, Walker Kessler would look a lot better in a Lakers uniform than fucking DeAndre Jordan at this point in time. Because Walker Kessler can stretch the floor, is better defensively, better rebounder.
And I would also
I mean,
like to
he's
just,
practically DeAndre Jordan at this point.
I would also
Here's
DeAndre
the
Jordan.
thing. Here's my thing with Ayton. Ayton wants to be Alperen Sengun so bad, but he just will never be him.
I would also
Yeah.
like to point out just so that people understand, Luka is currently averaging 41, 12, and 8. I don't. If Luka is playing at such an insanely high level that it's absolutely disgusting, they've lost a single game. Like,
So
I just feel for
on
honestly.
top of that, we can also say JJ Redick's offensive system looks really good because when Luka comes out, and guess what? Austin Reeves comes in and is giving you a 50-point triple double, 40-point or 28 and 16. Of course, the point guard in a heliocentric offense is going to put that. Now, granted, I'm not saying Luka's a system
we will see.
player.
Tonight is an important game because tonight Luka is not playing, so we will see against the Trailblazers whether that.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Jules,
No,
Jules, you just said
no.
Luka's not playing. Luka has only played 4 of their 8 games. Like,
Right,
what are we
but
doing?
I'm saying that I think this game specifically is an important one because the Blazers are.
But Austin Reeves is not playing and DeAndre Ayton is not playing. So we're getting to see Dalton connect the Charmander to Luca's Charizard. See if he is going to be, if this system really is just heliocentric play or not. Because obviously we all
We're going to
know
talk about Dalton Connect, the guy who couldn't pass his physical, which is why Mark Williams ended up on the Suns.
we're going to see is basically what they're going to look. When Luka and AR is off the court, and then LeBron hasn't even been there yet. So how is this all going to mesh once everybody's in the lineup? And to be honest, it won't. And I agree. I think they can. They're definitely still in the playoffs, but Lakers fans were telling me they're top 3 in the West, and no, they're not. They're probably a play-in team.
I think the uncomfortable
conversation.
You've been talking to stacking?
I think
Oh my God.
the uncomfortable conversation is this: LeBron needs to go because this roster doesn't need him anymore. And honestly, if anything, he's holding them back. You don't need another guy like LeBron, another ball-heavy player, another person on your roster that carries the superstar thing. He needs to go. You already have Luka. This is Luka's team. This is no longer LeBron's team, and everybody needs to be aware of that because while LeBron is on that team, it is going to be viewed as LeBron's team because he is LeBron. And because of that, that is going to put a strain on the team chemistry, and it's going to kind of not mesh with what they want the offense to look like. If I were the Lakers, I would say, hey, listen, we appreciate what you've done for us. You got us a ring, but you got to go. We need to
pissed off every brownsexual in existence with that.
I'm just being honest, bro.
And what's unfortunate is that's just not because he signed that extension. That's not a movable contract. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to fucking deal with him. So I agree, Retro. I do think that they need to move on with LeBron, but because of what LeBron was doing this past summer, shout out Hennessy commercial. Everybody thought you were fucking retiring here in LA. That you definitely put a pin on the Lakers' development going forward. And that kind of sucks for Lakers fans. And as a non-Lakers fan, as all 3 of us are, it's kind of funny because I know these 2 aren't LeBron guys. I'm a LeBron guy, but I will objectively say, LeBron, you fuck the Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, and that's basically what I was trying to get at. Is like outside of like LeBron hate or any of that like biased stuff. I'm just saying like really what you want to do now. You have a young, amazing player in Luka. You want to just give the team to him. Be like, hey, listen, you are our guy. You're our Jordan. Austin Reeves is your Pippen. Now I need you to make something happen. Go out there and figure out
Austin Reeves and Scottie Pippen conversations.
So I'd like to just, with that comment, we're just going to segue away to a different team that
AR is going to be a top 5 guard in the league in 2 years.
Great. So we're going to segue. We're going to segue to another team who has a superstar who just has health concerns. Kind of helps his team when he's there. Could be a little more of a hindrance. I'm not talking about the alien, I promise.
Okay.
We're talking about the other guy who was remembered to be seen the same way as an alien who
Kobe
could play
White?
2 ways.
You're talking about Kobe White?
No, we're talking about the other guy who could be an alien who plays 2 ways but is always hurt, but his team was really good, but he's really good at pissing people off. We're talking about the 76ers.
Oh.
We're talking about Joel Embiid. We're talking about how when we did the NFL podcast and I stood on business to start the year that Emeka Mbuga is going to be Rookie of the Year. I'll stand on business from 7 games in. Nobody's touching VJ.
Bulls have a big game tomorrow,
Well,
boys. Bulls have a
well,
big game tomorrow.
VJ Edgecombe is definitely, because of circumstances we won't get down, he is favorited to be Rookie of the Year.
Circumstances.
Number 2 is Dylan Harper, so I don't want to hear that. So
Anyway.
This is
hold on. My point was being is that Tyrese Maxey has taken this playmaking leap because we all remember he played next to who? James Harden. And even though James Harden, we don't talk about the playoffs. Yes. He plays exactly like Harden. Step back threes, being able to get to the rim at his size is completely it's fantastic. So Maxey taking this jump and him being the number 1 guy, the question is now are you going to revolve it around him because Embiid is out the door, and do you want to revolve around either Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, or Jared McCain, another guy that you didn't even mention?
Here's the weird thing behind it. It's kind of the same thing looking at like Luka's numbers and looking at Embiid's numbers. Is Embiid's missed a game, and I'm going to argue 2 because he played 20 minutes against the Celtics and basically just stood
trash.
So yeah, 4 points on 1 of 9 shooting, just irrelevancy on top of irrelevancy. So yes. My questions for you 2 on this is, the first one is, if the Sixers can stay healthy, are they for real? And the second one is, do they need Embiid, and why does VJ Edgecombe look so much more NBA ready than most rookies?
Yeah, I think that in terms of are they for real, I actually think tomorrow is going to say a lot, because the Bulls are for real, and when they play the Bulls...
what we're not going to do is we're not going to measure a team by game 8 of the NBA season.
Well, no, more specifically, I'm just saying I think it's going to be an interesting telltale of what it's going to look like. The Bulls
can say that one game is a telltale. That means the Suns are better than the Spurs, right? Jules, if that's if we use retro logic, my logic here, it's a telling game because we beat the Spurs, and we're going to be so good because we beat the Spurs in Game 7 of the. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's not what he's saying.
You're saying that one game is going to tell tale because what happens if on the way to the stadium tomorrow, Josh Giddey contracts the flu and doesn't play? What happens in a month and a half if Kobe White breaks his ankle and their team's not ready?
I'm just saying, Retro, congratulations on rage baiting Justin. I haven't seen him like this in a minute.
No, it's not a rage bait. It's a stupid ass comment. That's like calling a Super Bowl winner off of a Week 1 win. Oh yeah, hey Packer fans, remember that? Oh, crazy. Anyway,
there's a difference between me proclaiming that a game is like everything versus me saying that a game is an interesting telltale for what a team might look like. I'm not saying it's going to mean everything. I'm not even going to say it's going to mean a lot.
But what if one team shows up tomorrow and just absolutely flukes? Whether it's either side of it, what if they show up and the Bulls shoot 27% as a team? What if they show up tomorrow and the Sixers shoot 90% as a team? Never going to happen. But
that is why the operative word that I used was might. But I think that it will show something. I think that obviously the Bulls are legit this year, and I think the 76ers have a lot to prove because of how good VJ Edgecombe has been. He's a rookie, and so you're always going to be looking for when the rookie eventually comes down back to earth. Will he? I don't know. But I think that the roster is good. Embiid is obviously a problem because Embiid plays 2 games a year, and I mean, he's also just everybody hates him. I have to imagine his teammates might not even like him because the guy is like the dirtiest player I've ever seen. But outside of that, I think
he's the reason Jimmy Butler left. I'll be the first one to say it.
He really might be. Jimmy Butler doesn't have a great temperament to begin with. So
Jimmy does not have a great temperament, and he also doesn't put up with bullshit. Embiid could have gave him the wrong look walking into the locker room, and Jimmy could have said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
I agree. So to answer your question, I think the 76ers probably are legit to an extent. And I think also that
Are we
they
saying
probably,
legit as in a top 4 seed in the East to finish the year?
yeah, because the East is bad. So yes, like I think they could be a top 4 seed in the East. Will they actually have any motion in the playoff? Probably not, because Joel Embiid is a playoff choke artist. So it probably not.
And then,
it-
and then I guess the other thing, Jules, I'll let you go. I just want to know, to me personally, from what I've seen, why does VJ Edgecombe look so much more NBA ready than most of the rookies coming in the last couple years?
So to answer that question, obviously we mentioned Sports Heaven. He coached him in New York for a little bit, and he's the generator, right? I think basically his physical traits on both ends of the floor are extremely portable to what he was doing in college to being in an NBA team. And Nick Nurse is letting him kind of like go through. And this is why, like, this, I never got the Nick Nurse kind of hate, because Nick Nurse is actually really good developing young guys. They just don't like win a lot of games, but he's only been given rosters outside the 2019 year to develop guys. Pascal Siakam, number one option. They never led to really great team success, but he developed into a good player. Who there's another person on the team that I'm forgetting. But anyways, he gets to Philly. Tyrese Maxey, BJ Edgecombe, Jared McCain was looking like the rookie of the year before he went down. So he is able to. I think BJ Edgecombe, to again go back to answer the question, he has that kind of drive to be great off rip, and because he has the opportunity to. Because Paul George isn't. That's the other overrated guy that we didn't even mention. Embiid is hindering the team. Paul George not being in there with the contract that he has. VJ Edgecombe looks great because the Sixers fans had to watch Paul George for half the year steal money from their team. So anything is a plus. But VJ Edgecombe is going to develop into a legitimate two-way guy. And I think to me, you evolve around VJ Edgecombe instead of Tyrese Maxey.
You want
So
Tyrese
that's
to
my
play?
thing.
You want Tyrese to play Robin to Edgecombe?
And I
Yes.
kind of want to talk about Edgecombe a little bit because you mentioned his college. Like I said, I watch a lot more college ball. Baylor's system last year was executed by a lot of ISOs. They had a very powerful guard trio. It was him, it was Robert Wright, and it was Jeremy Roach. And so all three of the guys were excellent playmakers, but they were also great space creators. And so, for what VJ was supposed to do, they basically were like, "Here's the ball, go make a shot. Like, find a shot and go make one." And so when you do that, and it's not like these stupid system schemes where they scheme you open, and you just hit like a wide open corner three, and you actually have to make space for yourself and figure out how you're going to play. It tends to help, right? Because it's an NBA ready system. So as soon as he got to the NBA, when they said, "Hey, I need you to go make space," he was like, "Oh, okay."
He was already good at it.
I've been doing that.
Well, since you want to say that tomorrow is going to be a telltale sign, this is going to be Jules' favorite part of the podcast because we're just going to slide right into talking about so Retro, Mr. Retro. The Bulls are playing good, correct?
Playing great. Not
yeah,
good.
That's fantastic. Can they continue to ride this high, or will they fold under pressure?
Yes. Thankfully, the cavalry is coming in, guys, because we have been playing without Kobe White, and we have been playing without Asenge, and we've been playing without Collins, and our boys are coming back. When Kobe White gets back, I can't even imagine how good this offense is going to run. I mean, it's already so seamless that adding yet another good piece to it, I don't even know. We might have to.
Here, hold on. I actually brought something. Retro, you're going to stop talking. Jules, I'm Stefan Castle. You be Wemby. I'm going to toss it up. Now go dunk his ass.
So, all right. Go. I'll let you finish, Retro.
Yeah, and just to finish, the roster's been fantastic. We were hoping that Modest would take a big jump, and he has. Josh Giddey's done what he's been doing, which is being a triple-double machine. He's a great facilitator, a great rebounder, a great scorer. He does it all. That's all that we've wanted him to do. As far as the rest of the team, Vooch has been phenomenal this year, like way better than he was last year for sure, which has been very, very helpful. I think really the only arguments that people have against the Bulls is like, oh, well, teams aren't shooting well against them. That can't last. And it's like, yeah, but our scoring is good, and our scoring will be better when Kobe White comes back. So even if teams start to score better, we'll also be scoring better. And then as far as like, or can we ride it, brother? Have you seen the East? Yeah, 100%. The East is weak. It's not even weak. It's terrible.
It's 8 games.
Like,
It's 8 games.
It's 8 games.
all the good teams are outside of 8 games. Look at the teams. The Celtics don't
8
have
games.
Jason Tatum. The Celtics
8
don't have
games.
Tatum. The Pacers don't have Hallie.
8
Like
games.
all the best teams in the East have people that are hurt.
8
All we have
games.
to do is go in and take advantage of that. It's easy.
All right. Well,
It shouldn't be hard.
So
Wemby blocks
okay.
it, outlets the Castle. Castle takes 2 dribbles, lobs it up, and Wemby.
All right. So let's talk about the Chicago Bulls and how big of frauds they actually are.
Thank
Yes,
you.
the argument is the fact that they're not shooting well against them. It's not even because of the defense they're playing. Teams are scheming themselves to wide open looks and they're missing shots. So obviously that's course of luck and that kind of thing. Okay, cool. Now, secondly, you make really good points that Buzelis and Vucevic have looked really good. Shout out to Vuce. I won't discredit him there. Let's talk about the real basketball terrorists on your team because you're going to do the box score watching. Let's go talk about Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey has been a net negative on offense this whole year, and Trey Jones is the actual point guard of that team because the same similar traits and concerns when he was on this said Thunder team that we just glazed about. And guess what? They go get Alex Caruso from you guys, and it can immediately go and become contenders and then win a championship within 2 years' time. Josh Giddey is now hindering that offense because all he does is transition points, and that's it. He can't run a half-court set because he doesn't know how to read anything other than a PNR. Trey Jones is being able to create these advanced reads when collapsing a defense and kicking out to the corner, while Josh Giddey's just throwing up these bullshit-ass floaters on minus efficiency. That offense needs somebody better. This offense needs to be a hell of a lot better with Trey Jones and Kobe White without Josh Giddey.
You know what? Thank you for making my point for me. You're right. My roster is so deep that I have Trey Jones, Josh Giddey, Kobe White. I've got guards on guards. I can do whatever I need. If Josh Giddey isn't getting it done, I can tag in Kobe White. If Trey Jones, if I want to get him in, I can tag him in. No, you're actually right. My team is so legit that I've got guards on guards on guards. And I can say, you know what? Whoever I need to come in and do what I need to do, you can do it. We're good. You're right. We're deep. That's what we've got. We're ready for the East.
We're ready for the East.
I feel like you just heard something completely different. Like
his criticism was levied at Josh Giddey.
Cody Parkey
yes, Josh Giddey is not a good player.
His criticism was levied at Giddey, and he was complimenting Trey Jones. My counter argument is, you're right. We are really deep on guards. Even if
Trey Jones is the lead guard.
What did you just say? He was complimenting Trey Jones. You just acted like Trey Jones is a relevant player in the NBA.
Trey Jones is a good guard. He's been a good guard.
All right, well, I'm going to move on.
As a Spurs guy, I will disagree with that. I like Trey Jones on my team, but come on.
I'm going to kindly agree to disagree and move on from one of your favorite teams.
Knicks, Sixers.
No.
Knicks, Sixers, Bucks, Cavs, Spurs, Pistons.
For the record, by the way, Josh Giddey is an amazing guard. He's averaging almost a triple-double, and Josh Giddey has been fantastic for our team.
I'm going to kindly move on from one of your favorite teams. I'm going to kindly move from one of your favorite teams to the other. Retro, I'll ask you because Jules kind of got to peruse it. What do 1988, 1994, 2020, and 2026 potentially have in common?
Video games were released in all 4 of those years.
God, you're fucking great. The answer is that we could see a player win the MVP and the DPOY this year.
Oh, yeah.
Most improved.
Not happening. Anyway,
there's no way you're flexing it, but to be clear, you are not flexing an MIP.
He's gonna flex any hardware he can get because his team isn't built to win the championship, but they're built to get there. But my question for this team, Jules, and you kind of poked at it. You're kind of like, whatever, don't really care. Realistically, at his size and the way he plays, how long can Wemby be this good for before his body quits on him?
Like
he's
7 years.
He's severely, like I said, think about it. Being 7'5", 7'6", what he is,
Yeah.
He's severely undersized. His frame is scary to play with. Any one wrong bump, this dude's ankle will go. So, like, if this dude doesn't get on... No, you can make that face all you want. His frame is terrifying. For him to do all these moves that he does at his size, one little move wrong and his career's over. So, my
real
thing
quick.
behind it is...
That's with anybody, though.
No, not when you're 7'6" and your ankles are KD sized.
I was going to say real quick, just and Justin, I'll let you finish, but I just wanted to say real quick because we were because we were talking about Giannis earlier. He just hit a game-winning fadeaway to beat the Pacers. So
we'll get to them in a second.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he just wins all the time. I don't know.
Do you think? I mean, I was gonna bring his name up in this situation, but maybe he doesn't have to put out as much muscle as Giannis did. But 15 to 20 pounds would do this dude solid, and I think he'd be a lot healthier and probably put some more longevity into his career.
Oh, he just gained 20 pounds. He's 250 now. He doesn't look 250. He is 250.
He doesn't look like
no,
it.
no,
He
no,
looks-
no, no, no,
He
no, no,
looks like
Justin.
15 miles of wind will blow him away.
No. It's because how tall he is. Because guess what? This is my turn to rant. Okay, so Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis came in not this season, but last season at 245 pounds. He comes to this season at 263. Guess what? Now his Achilles is fucked and he is out for several games. He's going to have injury concerns because of how fucking big he is, because he wants to play the 4 instead of just, coping and to say you're a center now. Victor Wembanyama, with that frame, needs to be lighter than being heavier, because he's already at this height advantage to where if he's 275, he has never in his life ever been at 250 pounds plus for a sustained period of time. That is going to be scary. I'd much rather him be a little bit lighter, because we can see all the finesse that he's been doing, all the post shot fades, those bump shimmy fades, what Hakeem was basically asking him to do this past offseason at the frame of where he is now. If he gains weight, he is fucked. No. Do not make him gain any more weight. 250 is fine.
He don't look. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, he don't look no 250 on the floor, dude. Like I said, a 15-mile-an-hour wind gust could drag that dude away.
I'll say this on this situation. I agree with Jules. I think that one thing that kind of shows his strength and how big he actually is that if you watch him play this year, he's straight bodying people now. One thing about Wemby is that he is lean, but he is strong. I think one thing that the Shaolin monks do, unironically, that's like really, really impressive, is they understand how to leverage their body weight, and they have insane core strength. Because they do constant core exercises. Wemby went there for 3 weeks and basically shut the world out. He was learning how to do what they do. And I think that you can see his usage of core strength. It is absurd. He is literally bullying people in the paint. He's like shacking people out of the way. So if we're gonna like, I don't think he's too light. I think if anything, he's kind of the perfect weight, because he's able to leverage his handles, which are as good as a point guard's, while also being able to bully people in the paint. I think that he kind of has, like, where he's at right now is kind of perfect in terms of weight.
Okay. Like I said, it's scary to see somebody at that frame do what he does, and with seeing other people that are built more, that look correct. I'm just saying, Jules, I mean, this is for your franchise's long-term,
for
success.
Sure. I understand.
Because if that man disappears again, we saw what happens to your team when he disappears.
Even like, I know you want to move on. I'll just quickly say this. I know we aren't the biggest analytical people here, but if you go by the defensive rating on and off the court, his on-off numbers, they are absurd. So offensively, they're still about average. So Victor's offense needs to get slightly more efficient, slightly better. His defensive impact off the floor is on the floor is a -17. The defensive rating when he's on the court is 98.5, or at least the last time I checked.
This dude's fucking block padding because he can get 4 in one possession. He blocked with Zion 3 times on one shot attempt.
It's insane. So the impact of what he is insurmountable, but I think that he's cemented himself as a top 5 player. And again, for the basketball community, people laughed at me saying that I could see him as an MVP and DPOY this year, and people looked at me funny. Now, I had 4 separate times since that tape came out after game 1. They privately DM'd me, shout out to you guys, you know who you are, saying that I
What do you
apologize.
mean?
I
Hold on.
was
What do you mean you know
wrong.
who you are? We dox people on this motherfucker.
Oh, we dox people? I'm more polite than you are. I'm
Oh
more
no, we've
polite. They
been
know who they are.
fine, fine. They know who they are. I'll start doxing motherfuckers. Can we get our Minnesota Timberwolves fan to the front, please?
Oh no.
Mr. Mismatch. Mr. Rudy Gobert Glazer, Mr. Rudy's this, Rudy's that. Can we talk about how Rudy might actually be a liability to this Minnesota team?
Yeah. He
This
has not
dude,
looked good defensively at
especially,
all.
like I said, the one key point that I'm going back to is the Austin Reeves game winner. This man had to switch onto him, and instead of putting a hand up with no time left on the clock, got into rebound position and let Austin Reeves take a wide open floater.
So, just to reiterate that point, to add context behind that, they had a timeout prior to, and I believe JJ Redick called a timeout because they had the same exact look before that game winner, and Austin Reeves got the same exact shot. So he didn't even hit it once; he hit it twice with the
Correct.
same exact result.
Correct.
That is insane.
Hey, at least they didn't get the beneficial blunder that KD got on opening night when he called the timeout. Called the timeout when they didn't have any and they didn't give it to him. But
Oh well.
man, Minnesota confuses me because I don't know if you guys know this. They are my second favorite team to watch because I'm a huge Anthony Edwards guy. But this lack of off-season moves, where you finish in the same spot, is it now 2 or 3 years in a row, basically? And you just lose players, and you lock up what you have, and you don't make moves to get better. How do you plan to progress forward?
So,
what are we doing?
So to answer that, and I'm going to combine it with the Rockets, because I think the Rockets are in a similar situation where they both don't have legitimate point guards going forward, because at least the Minnesota Timberwolves have somebody, but
They
Mike
have
Conley's
Conley and Thompson's running Houston, which is interesting to say the least.
Yes, but more to the point is just like they don't have necessarily plus playmakers at this point in juncture. Anthony Edwards is out of the lineup right now, so they're asking Dante DiVincenzo to run their fucking point guard, and we've seen how rough that's been. Same thing with the Rockets. The and Thompson thing hasn't been looking great, so Sengun is having to play point guard, and that's been really funny to watch. But with Minnesota specifically, this is why I wasn't necessarily high on them. And people were calling me crazy. Is like, how do you get better? Your record get better if you add nothing and lose several key
I don't
pieces.
care what anybody says. Everyone wants to hop on me when I say this. You lost your best one-on-one defender. I don't care what you want to say about Jaden McDaniels and being a great defender. Them losing Alexander Walker after what he did through the postseason, strictly playing defense, is going to hurt your team. You're a defensive-minded team that is getting carried by Anthony Edwards and Julius fucking Randle on offense. Like, let's be honest here. If you're a defensive-minded team and you lose one of your core defensive players, how do you not find a way to make up for that? Cool, you locked up Naz Reid. Great. I'm happy for you guys. Naz Reid is...
That has not looked good at all.
It hasn't looked good, but we all agree that we want to see Naz Reid progress. We all want to see him succeed. But the thing behind it is, you lose Alexander Walker, Ant's hurt, shit sucks. Like, it's like, what... Like, why? Why do you not make a move and go get somebody? Why do you not trade a piece away to try to build? Like, you guys, they're accepting that they can get there, but they're not trying to win.
So, to add on to that, we just talked about the point guard deficits of Minnesota. So, Justin, I don't know if you've seen, but I will kind of run this through you because you just said that's your second favorite team. So if they need a point guard, and there's a said
No,
point guard
no,
who's in the
no,
West
no,
who
no,
isn't
no,
necessarily the
no.
best on his team anymore, but can provide playmaking and off-scoring ability to help Anthony Edwards. Are you saying no to John Morant at this point in juncture?
I'm saying no because him and Ant don't work together. That
I
is
think
not.
that they could.
I disagree. That's literally carbon copy the same player. One's a better shooter. They're both downhill rim attackers, which I could see it working if this. Oh my god, I can't believe. I could see this working if it was like JUCO. You get one guy that's going to drive and kick, and that guy immediately fills the lane coming back behind the defense. Great. NBA, way too good at rotational defense to even try something like that. I think
Mhm.
what they really need is they do need a true playmaking point guard. They do. Mike Conley is 39 years old.
Yeah.
Mike Conley. If you gave me Mike Conley 10 years ago, this team would be probably something else. Mike Conley at 39 ain't gonna do it. Guys that they should target to maybe make this work. I don't even know. I feel like for them to do the best thing possible for them, I think that Ant needs to play the one, and I think they need to bring in a shooter to support him. That would be honestly the best way that they would go about this, because Ant's already so ball dominant as a two, and he loves to just attack downhill. And I'm not gonna say he's like Shea, but he does a lot of the things that Shea does too. He likes to cross you up and try to attack and get your defense to kind of suck in on him and use that gravity term, but like they like to do that. So I think honestly the best thing for Minnesota to do is they have the defensive weapons. I think they literally just need sharpshooters. And I think honestly the thing that would have been nice for them to do is if they would have been able to make the move to get Desmond Bane instead of sending him to Orlando, I think that would have been a comparable piece for a shooter and kind of defensive-ish, not defensive player. I mean, there are guys that hover around this league that could be interesting. I mean, there's guys that aren't on teams or guys that are on veteran contracts that I feel like could be interesting in this situation. No, I'm not talking about Russell Westbrook for all you stands that think he still deserves a job or can still do the job or
Oh
this,
my
that, and the other.
God.
But no, Russ would never be the answer here. Russ needs to
Thank
sail
you.
off into the sunset and take his career. He had a pretty solid career minus the last 4 years. So, but I don't know. Like I said, they have the defensive ability. They have the players in place. I literally think they just need shooters around Ant, and they need to tell Ant, hey, dude, you watched SGA do it right in front of you. Kind of go do what he does. Get downhill, attack. When you have the ability, step back and shoot. Otherwise, kick. But, like, it's the Ant-Man show. We all know this, even though Randall is as good as he is. And he was very good for them last year in the stretch down the lane. Julius Randle is declining. We all know this. He's not going to be Julius Randle for much longer. So I would say defense is fine. You just got to put shooters around Ants because that's the only way they're going to actually succeed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Racho, you got anything?
I really don't have much to say about the Timberwolves, bro. They're just going to be stuck in the same place for like.
They're literally stuck in this. They're stuck in the same loop. I don't understand how, as a franchise, you lose pieces, you re-sign what you have when it's already working but not working. Like,
I mean,
again,
it's really crazy. Typically, I have something to say about a team, but this team just feels like they're in quicksand. Like,
I mean, and I heard somebody say this the other day because I got in a conversation with it because we've all talked about a certain point guard who's very overhyped, overrated, over this, over that, playing on a really bad team that they really want him to get out of a certain situation. Somebody told me LaMelo Ball should go to Minnesota. I told them they should get bent. I'm not even joking. Like, that just is not even remotely a good option in that situation. Jules, you can't even argue that that's a good point. But I want to move on to teams that have just underproduced to start the year, and we kind of touched on one of them early, but Nuggets, Rockets should arguably both be a top four, top five seed team going into the playoffs this year. Are there any concerns with these two teams that we need to address right away that maybe they aren't seeing? Because watching the Rockets, I think KD is getting just swarmed and they're playing 4-on-4 on offense every possession.
He's so like. I mean, you heard me mention it just now. Like the Rockets, their biggest thing going forward is getting a true point guard, a true facilitator, so that
Yep.
KD doesn't need to go back in time and try to be this ball handler, which he never was necessarily great at as is.
Nope.
So
Pull up.
right. So if Houston, and what sucks is that Houston, I don't believe, can either sign or trade for a point guard up until like December or January, because of certain rules. So like again, being in house, Amen, I think, has to keep you guys afloat, which has
He is
been
the best of a bad
okay.
situation right now. Yes.
Yeah. Reed Shepard, I'm sorry, he needs
Nope.
another fucking year, dog. Like, he does not look good as well. So keeping it, having to stay within house for the time period,
It can't be
it's
Sengun and it can't be KD bringing up the ball, because that changes the entire
yeah.
flow of your whole offense.
So
They're
oh, go ahead. No, you're good.
No, I was gonna say that their 2K generated ass lineup that Ime Udoka has been putting out.
Yep.
I think defensively, like, I think everybody predicted it right. I think they're gonna be a top probably 3 defense in the league because of how they just swarm everybody. They are really good in transition, which is something that they excelled at last year. They're a fantastic rebounding team. They just put belt to the Celtics last game and out rebounding them by almost like a plus 20, like it was insane. So there's like good mending things that are there, but it's literally just a facilitator and a runner of the offense, and then they could be back in these conversations. So I would say for right now, Houston is, out of the 2 teams, I would prefer the Nuggets going forward because I think they all have the capabilities of figuring their shit out. Cam Johnson has not looked good, but I think he needs to have some time to work with an actual playmaker, one of the best players in the world, compared to being the number 1 option and probably the worst team in the East. There's definitely, levels to that
Well,
shit,
yeah,
but Houston out of the 2 is nasty.
He's going into a situation where he's going to be the 3rd, arguably the 4th, depending on how high you value Aaron Gordon on their team, versus, like you said, being the number 1 option of the second worst team in basketball. So it's like he's got to, as crazy as it sounds, he has to get back into his Suns mentality, where he has to be the two-way player from the corner and be that guy again. So it's going to take him time to, hey, I get to go back to cool, calm, comfortable, and I don't have to make it happen every play. So
I guess I kind of have a different opinion. I think neither of these teams are underperforming. I would actually feel more confident in the Rockets moving forward as well. As far as the Rockets, they have 2 losses. They lose to the Thunder by 1 point in their opening game, and then they lose to the Pistons by 4 in their second game. The Thunder, I don't even have to get into. They're an amazing team. Everybody knows this. The Pistons are solid, and they only lose by 4, so it's not like it's like a bad loss. Since then, they beat the Nets by 28. They beat the Raptors by 18. They beat the brakes off the Celtics by 27. The Rockets have looked very comfortable. I think the Rockets just needed a couple games to come into their own, and again against the Thunder and against the Pistons, when you have a combined.
Did you just say that they're going to come into their own after saying that they beat the brakes off of the worst team in basketball and the Celtics, who are injury plagued like a motherfucker?
I think they're fine. I think
they beat the brakes off of teams they were supposed to beat the brakes off.
In your opening 2 games, I think it's very typical.
But Retro, this is more for the postseason, because as soon as KD got there, the expectation is Western Conference Finals, and everybody loved this team coming in. You lose Fred VanVleet, everybody's expectations then change because, again, the skill set of what KD is at this age can't be a self-creator. He needs a facilitator. He needs a playmaker. And out of the 2, I agree. For right now, narratively, they are fine. Going forward, Amen Thompson needs to become a way better in the half court because that offense is stagnant as fuck. Sengun cannot run your point guard, even though he has the capabilities to. It's that in a playoff setting, he shouldn't be, and in a playoff setting, he does not have those capabilities to create advantages off ball for KD and for Steven Adams / King Capella. Like, this is the more of just thinking long term than
Well,
that.
that's why. So underperforming is obviously in like the eyes of the beholder, and that it depends
Sure.
on where you thought they were going to perform, right? So for me, with the Rockets, I was thinking not the Western Conference. I'm thinking more second round. The reason why is because the Western Conference Finals to me were going to be the Spurs Thunder. That was my expectation coming into the year. That's still my expectation now. I think those two teams are clearly going to be there. So my expectation for both the Rockets and the Nuggets was second round. So to me, they're both kind of meeting that expectation. I think the Rockets are going to easily make the second round. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. And for the Nuggets, again, this is another team with 2 losses. They have a 6-point loss to Golden State in their first game. That again, it's Golden State has been a very good team, and they only lose by 6. And then they have a 2-point loss to the Trailblazers, who have been surprisingly good this year. So, and then outside of that, they beat the Pelicans by almost 40. They beat the Timberwolves, who are a very solid team, by 13. They beat the Suns by 22. I think both of these teams are comfortable. I just don't think they're going to be Western Conference contenders. But again, like the Western Conference is so loaded that that's not even really an insult. When you have teams like the Thunder and Spurs, like, and you're trying to compete against that, that's going to be necessarily a problem. I think the Thunder at this point are basically a lock for the Western Conference Finals. So if you agree on that, then that means this is who you have fighting for the second spot. You've got the Spurs, you have the Nuggets, you have maybe the Trailblazers somehow. I don't know, but maybe. Probably not, but it would be insane. You have the Rockets, right? You have the Timberwolves. You have all of these different teams that are like, maybe even the Lakers if it actually does work and LeBron like meshes together and that works out. It could be. You have a lot of teams in the West that are all fighting for basically one spot. So for me, I think the fair expectation for both these teams with the second round,
Clippers will get the other spot.
I think they're meeting that. To me, that's where I'm at.
We're
Well,
not
and
voted by the
you
Clippers.
just brought up a team that I really like to talk about. You just said that Golden State's playing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we talk about how Golden State, and I really want to bring this up because I really just hate every team in my state. I really do. Golden State lost to the Giannis-less Bucks. I just want to talk about that. Golden State lost to the Giannis-less Bucks.
Hey, Justin, I have a question for you before we get into that.
Fantastic.
So can we talk about how Jimmy Butler's the best on the Golden State Warriors?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Yeah. Can we talk about how Steph Curry outside that 43-point game has been underperforming in Jimmy Butler? Because we love to talk about gravity on this channel, right? That Jimmy Butler has more gravity than Steph Curry this year.
I feel like it's crazy. It's crazy. No. Here's the thing. It's crazy, Jules, because it's November 3rd when we're recording this. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. Let's rewind the clock to the first 2 weeks of Jimmy Butler on Golden State. What did this not ball knower say? What did I say? Steph Curry is playing Robin to Jimmy Butler on this team. Jimmy Butler's doing the work to make Steph open. Yes, Curry Glazers, I get it. You don't want to hear this. Steph is still hitting his 40-foot threes at the end of games. He's still clutch. But he's not the star of the team anymore. I don't care what anybody... He could be your leading scorer. Jimmy is creating so many more options for Steph right now. It's like, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about it because it's like, you're going to get flamed. You don't know ball. It doesn't even matter at this point. I talked about this from the first 2 weeks he was there and how Golden State was mediocre before Jimmy got there. And Jimmy kind of, as hate this about Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy kind of revitalized and gave fuel to the flame, and he made everything so much easier for everybody that was there that they actually went on a run into the postseason. They beat an arguably favored team in the postseason. Like, I don't understand how people can't see this just by watching the fucking game. If you watch the fucking game, you would realize that Jimmy is doing a lot of playmaking and a lot of freeing up to give Steph open looks. Yes, Steph's still getting chased all over the floor like the guy's got a magnet in his pocket for him. But it's the same thing every time. Jimmy has to create. Jimmy is creating. Jimmy is playmaking. I don't get it. But the only other thing I got on the Bucks right now is, if the season ended today, yes, 8 games. I'm going to keep saying 8 games. It's the same thing as a week 1 in the NFL. It really doesn't mean much. Giannis is the MVP and nobody's close. 34, 13, and 7 on 68% shooting. It's
Yeah,
with the team he has around him. This is unbelievable. I honestly hope Giannis plays out of his fucking mind and somehow gets this team into a okay seed so that they can lose in the first round again to whoever they play.
Yeah, well, I guess now that we've pissed off the Steph and the LeBron guys, anybody have anything negative to say about Kobe before I give my piece, or
he's not top 10. We can just start there.
Kobe's not top 10. You can suck my dick for that. Anyway.
We can just keep. Listen, you want to go into a pissed off segment? Kobe's not top 10. Bird's not top 10. Let's just keep going. Who else? Anybody? Anybody? Got it. No, I mean,
Okay.
Are you giving your piece on Golden State or Milwaukee?
Well, I'm more specifically about Giannis. I'm fine with the argument about Giannis being MVP. I have him in second. The guy that you didn't talk about, Luka, is averaging 41 more than Giannis. I believe Giannis is averaging 13 rebounds. Luka is averaging 12. And keep in mind that Luka is 5-6 inches smaller than him. Luka's averaging 8 assists a game. The only thing that Giannis really has on Luka is field goal percentage. He's been more efficient, which is true. I don't disagree. But that's also because Luka and AR are basically playing the role of we're just going to be the team. And Giannis is, which is kind of uncharacteristically Giannis, he's kind of trying to defer to his teammates quite a bit.
Too much. The answer is too much.
And I agree with you. Actually, I actually think in a better world, Giannis's stats should be 50, 0 assists, and 50.
No.
I don't know.
Hold on, Retro. So what you're telling me is you want Giannis to absolutely disregard probably 30% of his game and his ability to play make as one of the best downhill players in the game, right? That's what you're telling me?
I don't know if he should be playmaking. I don't know.
You don't know if a basketball. You don't know if a professional basketball player should be playmaking in the NBA.
I always like to talk about this because people don't understand what I mean when I say this. One of the greatest things that LeBron can do is drive to the basket. Giannis and LeBron have that in common. And a lot of people get very mad when LeBron passes the ball out instead of driving the basketball. And a lot of people say, what, you don't want him to play make and get into his bag? My answer is, if you're the best driver of the basketball in the entire league and no one can stop you driving to the hoop, why are you not doing that every single
Retro,
possession?
stop talking to clip merchants, please.
No, unironically, why wouldn't you just do that every possession? Giannis is 60% from the field, averaging 37 right
now. For sure. So what happened in 2019 when the wall happened? What happened in 2019 when the wall happened? What happened in 2022 when the wall happened? What happened in 2024 when the wall happened? The greatest driver of the basketball in the modern day NBA, what happened? He dropped, right?
Sure. So then you can do that for now. We know that Giannis has a mid-range bag. So if Giannis just drives to the rack over and over and over again.
No, this is why I'm going crazy because you're asking
Giannis
him
has a mid-range bag.
Yeah, Giannis.
Well, Justin, yes, he does. Yes, he does. He is shot significantly better in the mid range because of the fact. Guess what? The wall has been happening, and he can't just do the same thing over and over and over again because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Well, we're doing a podcast with Retro every week, so we must be insane because we're doing it over and over and over again.
I'm about to try to claim that Giannis didn't have a mid range bag. So pipe down.
That's nasty.
He sucks at shooting. He still sucks at shooting the basketball.
He's good in the mid range.
Better. He still sucks at shooting the basketball.
He's an elite mid-range shooter. He's shooting 44 to 45% from the mid-range. That's elite. That is elite. So, back to the point. Giannis,
when you shoot from 15 feet and your arms end up at 8 inches from the rim, I sure hope you're elite.
So, again, if you're tasking him to just continuously drive and dunk the basketball, again, there's been times where the wall has happened, and he's not being able to do that. So guess what? He's had to develop a mid-range shot. He's had to then defer to teammates because guess what? He's getting first rounded by the Boston Celtics in 22. And guess what? He's averaging 34 and 14. Nobody else on his fucking team can put that stat. 34, 14, and 7.
Hold on. Let's play that game because I'll pull that one up right now. I want to see this. Just curious.
What are we doing?
Oh, I'm just pulling up all the stats we're getting first rounded by the Pacers as well.
Wasn't he hurt? Didn't he get hurt?
I want to say you're right, but
Everyone was hurt, but he played.
Oh, that's right. He played hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
he
was
played
hurt.
hurt.
Dame played hurt, and it arguably could potentially have costed him his career, even though he's in Portland. Like, there's just what do we?
Yeah. So, what is it? 2025, right?
Eastern Conference first round averaged 35, 15, and 4.
Uh-oh.
And still got first rounded. So with his assist product going down, he still lost.
How many assists is Giannis averaging right now?
34. It's 33, 13, and 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's averaging
7 assists.
He's averaging 3 more assists.
I mean, and here's the thing: his splits were pretty comparable. His shooting splits were 65.1 from the field.
No, you're right. So they're pretty comparable. We're basically doing the exact same thing that we did against the Celtics that we're doing now. So what it's going to get us is the exact same thing. What we need to do then is
what did we just say?
Instead of trying to spam playmake and losing in the first round, what you need to do instead is you need to take the ball, take it to the rack, or take it from mid-range, take the game over.
That's what he was doing before.
He was doing
I
it.
just told you.
They got first
it
rounded.
didn't work. When he started to playmake, he won a championship.
So my point is, you said his stats were what? 37. You said was it 37, 14, and 4? Were stats when he won the chip?
When he won the chip, we can
that's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to ask.
Oh, okay, my bad. 2021. Just in the playoffs totality.
No, just in like the finals, specifically.
I'll give you both. Yeah, there's 2021 playoff stats.
He in the finals
for the playoffs it was 30.2, so scoring went down, rebounding basically 13 and assists 5.
So in the finals he averaged 35, 13 and 5.
Okay, so 35, 13, and 5 right now.
You got to remember though, you're also you got to tax him the 4 years because we've talked about it with the last 2 years his defensive playmaking has went down. So So again, you want him who's already lost a step, and I hate saying that because he's still so fucking good, lost a step on the defensive side of things, to now handcuff himself and not play half of the offensive side of the game?
No, so when he won the finals, he was averaging 35, 13, and 5, right? That's what you said. Right now, I think he's averaging 30.
So it sounds like Giannis is going to average the same stat line regardless. But if he's going to playmake, he's got a better chance of winning.
So you much rather...
37, 13, like 7?
No,
37, 13, and 7.
Okay.
So you much rather let him take 2 less shots for 2 more assists.
2 more points, and he's already assisting 2 more players a game. On average.
Sure.
So what's the argument?
Sure. So what I'm saying is this, right?
We just argue that he doesn't have a team around him. His second best player is Ryan fucking Rollins.
Exactly. I agree with you, which is why he should be holding on to the ball more. So my argument is, if you agree that he doesn't have a team, he had a pretty decent team in the finals run. He doesn't have a team right now. If we agree on that, and we also agree that his defense has taken, and again, he's still amazing, but it has taken a step back from then, right? Giannis, what he's going to have to do in order to compensate, because he doesn't have a team and because his defense has taken a step back, so he can't do everything like he used to, he is going to have to compensate on the offensive end by scoring more points.
So you want this man,
Justin, hold on.
Let me read this.
That's
let me read this quick.
Okay.
Let me read this quick. So you want this guy who's 37, 13, and 7 to stop passing the ball at all when his second option is already only averaging 18, 3, and 5. 18, 4.
I'm just saying less. That's what I'm saying.
So average less assists.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 assists a game, and then average 40 points.
So what you want him to do is you want him to ruin his shooting percentage.
I can't wait.
Score 7 more points, maybe, and probably finish bottom half of the Eastern Conference.
Do what Luka is doing. Luka's going 41-12.
He can't do what Luka's doing.
He's Luka's averaging more assists.
Right.
So what's your argument?
My argument is
you're telling him to play a less complete game.
Bad argument.
I'm saying score a little more, hold on to the ball a little more, and keep it for yourself. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to hold. You don't have to not make. Drop like the 7 assists to like 5. That's what I'm saying, and then average 40. That's my point.
So when Nikola Jokic doesn't do that, that's he's the best player in the world because he can average a triple double because of box score stats.
So instead of
we
averaging
agree,
20, hold on.
Confidence matters.
So
when
instead of
discussing.
averaging 20 shots a game, you'd rather him average 30 shots a game.
I wouldn't say 30 shots, maybe like 23 or 24. But my point is this, right? If we agree that context matters, Jokic is a non-relevant example because Jokic's team necessarily does bad when he tries to do that whole takeover and it doesn't work. His team just does bad. Because Jokic needs to facilitate that because his team is good. He has Cam Thomas, he has Jamal Murray, he's got Braun, he's got Gordon, he's got people that he can facilitate to. Giannis's team, we already been over this. His best weapon is Rollins right now outside of him. Giannis
Rollins and KPJ, yes.
So you much rather him put up empty stats in a 10-point loss than him be a better overall player and get wins.
My point is, I don't think it will get wins in the playoffs. When you're trying to facilitate to Rollins instead of taking the ball yourself, I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's.
All right. We're just gonna stop because we're just gonna stop because we're gonna argue that in circles. The last touching point before we get into the fun segment of the podcast is, and it literally says just for retro. Dyson Daniels is second in steals behind Cason Wallace.
True.
That is the only.
Steals again. He is so consistent.
That's great.
So consistent. He's been fucking trash this year. Anyway.
My goat, Dyson Daniels. He should have won DPOY last year.
All right. Well, since I got to get rage baited for probably 80 minutes of this 85-minute podcast by Retro just spewing fucking foul fuckery out of his mouth. Right. Yep.
No.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown sucks. Anyways, go ahead.
Jaylen Brown dropped 36 tonight, by the way.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, they still lost.
So, my favorite segment of our football podcast, and we're going to continue it on the basketball one, is me letting these two fight each other and pick 3 cut 5s or would you rathers. So, I have 2 pick 3 cut 5s and a would you rather for you guys. My first pick 3 cut 5 is an interesting one, and I can't wait to see how you guys fight. It's a past and present duos. So it's the active player on their current team, plus a legend from their franchise.
Okay. And for people who do not know, football is much more my speed, so I will probably more be.
And you argue just as much in basketball, so it doesn't matter.
I will probably be a little more deferent to Jules in this respect, but I will I will also give my opinion if I think I really fight.
Got it. Spanel. Got it. The first one is definitely going to get cut just because of one half of it. It's Halliburton and Reggie Miller.
That's a fucking instant cut. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
just because of Reggie.
Yes, just because of Reggie. I like Tyrese more than Reggie. You don't
like Reggie? I didn't know you didn't like Reggie.
Reggie Miller hater.
We can't stand Reggie.
Why?
The second one's interesting.
He's overrated because of his playoffs.
It's a guard duo, and I know that a lot of Thunder fans are going to hate me for adding these two together, but it's SGA and Gary Payton.
I would actually keep. You know how dominant of a scoring/defensive backcourt that would be?
I'd still cut them.
Dude, but that's a crazy backcourt.
That is a crazy backcourt.
We're scoring like 50 between the two of them, and we're also not giving.
Yeah, and SGA scoring like
39 of them. Yep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that's true.
I love. I'm a Gary Payton Blazer, but I think this is a tough.
I also really like Gary Payton.
It's like I put this together to actually make this hard sometimes. It's crazy. So we're cutting this?
I think that's a very tough cut. It's a tough cut.
This is where fireworks are going to fly because I fucking love this game. Ladies and gentlemen, the duo from the Chicago Bulls, Josh Giddey and Michael Jordan.
Yep.
The fact we just cut SGA and Gary Payton to keep this fucking trash can of a duo is disgusting.
What we've got one of the greatest playmakers in the last decade, and we have Michael Jordan. Beautiful. Sounds good.
Playmakers in the last decade.
Sounds good.
Chat, let us know if we don't know ball. This has been a great podcast episode.
Jules, that's got to get clipped, because if that doesn't make us go viral, we might as well just stop the pod.
That's fucking disgusting.
There we go.
Jesus Christ. We'll keep him because of Retro. It's a bad keep.
We're keeping this? Oh, boy.
We have to.
Oh, boy. The next one is KD and Hakeem.
Oh my.
That's a keep.
Yeah.
It's an instant keep.
Yeah.
That's an instant keep.
Yeah, not even a question.
The next one is Kawhi Leonard and Bob McAdoo.
Okay.
See, this is why I hate Justin,
Jules, you
because
pushed
he knows I'm a historian and he knows I got a couple guys that I fucking glaze. And Kawhi is my favorite player of all time, but I
Hey,
fucking
Jules,
love
I
Bob
will say though,
McAdoo.
you got to be proud of me because that's a pretty good pull.
That's a good pull for you, Justin. Fucker. And this is the obviously for the Clippers.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you have to cut this one.
I have to. I
there
know
are three-
because
there are 3 left that I promise you are just
better. Yeah, because we can argue Bob McAdoo, because I was actually looking at his stats in a couple games the other day. It's short lived, and he kind of gets hosed for all
I know we
NBAs.
agreed to appeal to casuals, but I have to throw Jules' historian bone in there. Just
The thing is,
we can cut him.
We're actually at a decent spot. We have KD, Hakeem, and we've got Jordan. So really, all we need to do is wait for the LeBron duo, whatever the LeBron duo is.
Casually doesn't say Josh Giddey like he's part of this too.
He's there.
Hold on, that's what you have to wait for. That's cool because the Lakers are next, but it's Luka and Shaq.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of duos from other franchises because the Celtics. Oh wait, he's gonna hit us with Tatum and Bird.
Or you
and
could
I
go
know you're gonna argue with
you
Walt.
could do Bird and Russell, or
no,
Kurt.
You dumbass.
You go Tatum and Russell.
Oh.
You go Tatum and Russell.
Oh wait, because he's not. Oh my God, no! We're keeping this team. I already know what we're going next. We're keeping this. We're keeping this.
Listen, Luka.
Wait,
Justin, I know.
You're keeping this.
Dude, Luka and Shaq. 50-50
all right.
Because it's gonna be the Celtics.
You're cutting the last 2 duos.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's gonna be the Celtics.
Oh, I set you guys up for such failure. I'm so sorry. So you kept
the Cavs?
You kept Giddey and Jordan. There's nobody on the Cavs I would want to team up with a legend. So no. You kept Giddey and Jordan. You kept KD and Hakeem. You kept Luka and Shaq. Cut Halliburton and Miller, SGA and Peyton. You cut Kawhi and McAdoo. Sorry, Jules. You cut Wemby and Duncan.
I mean, Wemby hasn't.
And you cut Giannis and Kareem.
Yeah, I mean the Jordan. Well, I don't know. The Wemby Duncan one I'm fine with. Wemby's just too young for it to be like.
Yeah, Wemby's too young.
But as far as Giannis and Kareem,
the Giannis Kareem one, yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's a better.
We can't defend that.
That's a better duo than Giddey and Jordan. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not bad though. I don't.
Yes,
think.
It is. Yes, it is.
All right. Next one up's kind of nasty. It's all-time 6th man of the year.
All-time 6th man of the year. Okay.
Yes, going all the way back to 82-83 when it was established. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The first one up is Jamal Crawford.
I love Jamal Crawford.
That's a cut.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Second up is that guy right behind me there, Tyler Hero.
I would argue a keep for Tyler Hero. He's a great 6th man.
That's also a cut.
Good starter. You think that's a cut?
That's an instant cut.
Wow. All
right.
That's also a cut.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale.
That's a keep.
That's a keep.
Tony Kukoc.
Fucking cut. Cut. Retro. You don't know shit about Tony Kukoc.
We can, but I want to let everybody know that I am moved by Tony Kukoc, and
next up is Mr. 6th man Lou Will.
How many? We have what? We have one keep
left. We should have kept.
We have one keep.
No, you have 2 keeps.
See, we should have kept Tyler Hero.
No, we shouldn't have. I'll take Lou Will. Lou Will's better than Jay Crossover.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right.
We'll take Lou Will, bro.
The next one up, Jules again gonna appreciate Bill Walton.
Yeah, I mean
Bill
that's
Walton in that 1 year, dog. No, I'm not. Yeah, that's a cut. I love Bill Walton, but no, I'm not
Well,
with it.
I think that's a great cut because you kept McHale, kept Lou Will, cut Crawford, Hero, Nas Reed, Tony Kukoc, Bill Walton to get. Does anybody want to guess?
Manu.
James Harden.
Oh yeah, I would have just replaced.
I forgot that he was a 6-man.
I would replace if we would have replaced Lou Will with Harrow. That's fine. I'm
I
good.
would have. I mean, if I would have gotten Jay Crossover because just as 6-man, like I think is just better than James Harden as a 6-man.
And then the would you rather DPOYs is just set up like the cut, so you're keeping one guy out of all 8 of these.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna start with the first man to win it and go back to back, Sidney Moncrief. And then
Would you rather with who?
it's set up like the pick. It's
like
set up like the pick 3, cut 5. So you're only keeping one of these 8.
Yeah, it's like
So
King of the Hill. Just going on
it's
and
starting with Sidney Moncrief, and your first comparison is Ben Wallace.
on. Give me
Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace, Sidney off the board. Moving down the next one to Kevin Garnett.
I would still go Ben Wallace.
Kevin Garnett clears.
I disagree, but
It's clear.
Wallace.
It's a clear. It's KG.
Because Ben Wallace was able to take a Pistons team that really had no business being in the finals.
And the KG took this Minnesota Timberwolves team with net negative defenders and being the on-ball defender of Steve Nash and O2.
I will say,
drop.
Retro, in the argument here, you take KG for the simple fact that he would guard your best player the entire length of the floor, the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I hear the whole like versatility perimeter, and I get the whole versatility argument.
Next is the guy I called a fraud earlier in the podcast, the fraudulent 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert.
I mean,
4, by the way.
Yeah,
I would still go KG slightly.
And I'm keeping Ben Wallace on mine.
All right, well, you're not getting to it's a dual thing.
I'm keeping Ben. Well, no, it's a would you rather. That's different from a keep.
No, because you guys have to agree.
No, it's a would you rather, and I'm keeping Ben Wallace.
No,
it's a bad take.
That is my center.
So the next one I only threw in here because he's the first guard since '96 to win it is Marcus Smart.
Ben Wallace.
Fucking KG.
Yeah, Ben Wallace. Thank you.
You don't have Ben Wallace anymore, but
anyways, continue. Next.
Meta World Peace.
Ben Wallace.
KG.
I hate you, Retro. I really do. The Claw.
Oh, give me Kawhi.
KG.
Yeah, I'll take Kawhi.
All right, so here's
KG.
the thing. It's going to be one name to go up against the last guy, so you guys better fight it out.
I'm taking
It's Kawhi. KG. It's not even close.
I'm taking Kawhi. Speaking of versatility, if you want to talk about a guy that can guard the perimeter, that can guard the front court, Kawhi Leonard,
sure.
Insane versatility.
KG did it better.
And KG did it better. His numbers are better. The eye test is better. Kawhi
KG walks so Kawhi can run.
Kawhi is probably the best wing defender of all time. KG is arguably top 3 at rim protection, which is inherently more valuable. And then he was again going to switch off onto perimeter defenders at legitimately 6'10", getting guys like again Steve Nash to drop, and he's staying in front of point guards. When Kawhi is getting up against legitimate 4s and 5s, he is not effective just like KG is. KG is better 1 through 5 than Kawhi Leonard on defense.
I hear so the argument is front court glaze because you're like rim protection's more inherently valuable, and
which is true.
I think that Kawhi Leonard was a better perimeter defender than KG was a front court defender, so that's why I would take Kawhi.
No.
That's my I think his perimeter defense.
I need an answer. Somebody's got to back down.
He's got KG.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's KG.
That sounds good.
It's KG. It's not even close. KG is a top 4 defender of all time. Kawhi's barely top 10. He's the only wing defender that has the argument to, but even so, he is not there. He wasn't even the best defender on the Spurs.
For the sake of argument, Kawhi, I can make that concession, but I think it is extremely close.
Got it. Kevin Garnett versus Giannis.
KG.
and KG stands the gauntlet. That's who I thought was going to stand the gauntlet for you guys, to be fair. He was by far the best DPOI on the list. He doesn't have the most of them by the guys on the list, but he was definitely the one.
See, if you would have done KG
I'm
versus
not going to lie. You guys are going to see the past and presents duo tomorrow for football as well. And that's going to be a lot of fun because that one's going to be the stitch up of all time. Because this one, I went down the list and I was like, damn, this is really bottom heavy. Should I reorder this? And I'm like, no, because they'll keep too early. I knew Retro would not be anywhere near passing on Michael Jordan. And I knew that Jules would have to keep Hakeem right after because that's how that went. So,
well, and I will say, by the way, if you would have put Gary Payton on there and put Gary Payton against KG, I would have fought for Gary Payton.
The concession of Wemby and Duncan so fast was actually kind of shocking to me. Like, not get like if that's why
it literally is just because of age. Because in like 3 or 4 years, yeah, Wemby and Duncan will be an
yeah.
But if you go off Wemby's productivity already and then Duncan's career, I feel like that one, I mean, is insane. And then just it sucks not even getting to hear Giannis and Kareem because I guarantee that's probably the best, maybe second best duo on this list.
Yeah, well, are we getting Rockets KD or are we getting Prime KD with Hakeem?
No, you get the current. You get the current player.
Oh, then yes, it's Giannis and Kareem. Yeah.
So,
I agree with that. But the reason why I would have said Gary Payton is because when you can neutralize the best player ever and then do it in a final series, like if they would have put Gary Payton on Jordan earlier, the Bulls would not have won that series. They would not have gone undefeated.
Yet you just tried to argue that Kawhi's better than KG when he did what Kawhi did, but at a better level.
Well, I was talking about Gary Payton.
I know, but you just tried to argue Kawhi over KG.
Well, I said I think Kawhi is a better perimeter defender than KG is front court defender. I think it's a fair argument. I just think that you could go either way with it, which is why I went with KG at the end. I'm okay acquiescing to that. KG is one of the greatest defenders ever, so that's fine.
Well, with that, to whoever made it through the length of this podcast, we're going to try and stay consistent with this, and we're going to try and do basketball on Mondays. That way we can get the Monday Night Football game over and still record on Tuesdays. Hopefully basketball drops on Tuesdays and football drops on Wednesdays for those that want to tune into both, if you guys want to tune into both. If you're listening to this on YouTube or finding out through TikTok, please subscribe, like, comment. It really does help. Like I said, we're just 3 dudes that met on TikTok trying to grow a channel just to have a little fun, so...
Yes,
nope, we're saving that for football.
Aw, okay.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can pull one quick. It's not that hard.
I want a history fact.
Yeah, great. You want one? You want one just of the most obscure fuckery too. That's the worst part of it. Let's see how fast my computer wants to load. Boom, boom, boom. More events in sports. Those are all really ugly. Holy shit! Philadelphia Eagles beat Boston Redskins 7-6 at Fenway. What the hell? Let's see here. We got 1911. Chevrolet officially earns the automobile market in competition with the Ford Model T. That's really dumb.
Chevy.
Lou Gehrig wins Triple Crown. Ted Williams wins Triple Crown. Wow, back to same day. I guess that's getting announced, whatever. Second iteration of the NHL All-Star Game in 1948, where the All-Stars played against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That just sounds unfair.
That does sound unfair.
1950, Branch Rickey signs 5-year contract as vice president and general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Can I have a good one? Here's an NBA one. We did an NBA podcast. San Francisco Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scores 72 points in 127-115 defeat to the LA Lakers. Fourth highest point total in NBA history, and it says it remains 6th highest in the game today.
Greatest scorer of all time.
You just say things that make mine and Jules' blood boil, and I hope you know that.
Greatest scorer to ever play the game.
Let's see what the most recent one in history is on here, because I think it runs all the way up to like the 2010s on here. Oop, there's Jerry Rice. What's that one? 1996, Jerry Rice grabs 3 passes for 45 yards and a touchdown to become the first player in NFL history to reach 1,000 career receptions. Finished his career with 1,549 receptions. Damn.
Are we moved by Jerry Rice on the Seahawks, though?
I hate you. Ooh. The debut of 1999, the debut of the Staples Center.
Oh, that's fire.
Bum, bum, bum. I'm trying to just find the newest one, and it's not scrolling. Oh, the newest one is about, and I'm not going to say that word because we post to YouTube. British Mercedes driver and defending champion Lewis Hamilton finishes second in the U.S. Grand Prix circuit to clinch his 6th F1 Drivers' World Championship in 2019.
Yep, and Verstappen owns him.
Whatever the fuck that means.
He's talking about one of the most elite racers and internet memes, Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I forgot you don't watch F1. But no, Max Verstappen is the GOAT. He's the real GOAT.
Anyone that just put up with our extra 5 minutes of bullshit, we really do appreciate you. But I've been Justin, that's been Jules, that's Retro. Retro, make your stupid comment before Jules cuts the feed.
Josh Giddey is better than LeBron